Did you know that right now, as you're watching this video, millions of people over 60 are unknowingly accelerating their own cognitive decline with 7 seemingly innocent bedtime habits? I'm not talking about obvious dangers like smoking or drinking excessively. I'm talking about habits so common, so deeply ingrained in our daily routines, that most people would never suspect they're literally rewiring their brains for memory loss, confusion, and mental fog. My name is Dr. Andrew Chen, and I've spent the last 22 years as a neurologist, studying the intricate mechanisms of brain health and cognitive preservation. What I'm about to share with you isn't just theory from medical textbooks. It's the result of thousands of patient consultations, cutting-edge research, and heartbreaking conversations with families watching their loved ones slip away. Not because of genetics or inevitable aging, but because of preventable nighttime habits that are destroying their most precious asset, their mind. Here's what the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. Memory loss, cognitive decline, and that persistent mental fog that seems to worsen with each passing year isn't an inevitable part of aging. It's the cumulative result of specific behaviors that interfere with your brain's most critical maintenance. Period. Sleep. Every single night, your brain undergoes a sophisticated cleaning process, consolidating memories, flushing out toxic proteins, and preparing for the next day's cognitive challenges. But these 7 habits are sabotaging this process, turning what should be your brain's restoration period into a time of damage and deterioration. The stakes couldn't be higher. We're not just talking about occasionally forgetting where you put your keys or struggling to remember a name. We're talking about the progressive erosion of your ability to think clearly, make decisions, and maintain your independence. The tragedy is that most people don't realize the damage is happening until it's already advanced. And by then, reversing the effects becomes exponentially more difficult. But here's the empowering truth that I want you to hold on to throughout this video. You have more control over your cognitive destiny than you've been told. The same brain that can be damaged by these habits possesses an remarkable capacity for healing and regeneration when given the right conditions. Every night presents an opportunity to either harm or heal your most vital organ, and the choice is entirely yours. Before we dive into these 7 brain-damaging habits, I want you to do something important. If this information resonates with you, if you recognize yourself in what I'm describing, please hit that like button. Your engagement helps this crucial health information reach more people who desperately need it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, because what I'm sharing today is just the beginning of a comprehensive approach to cognitive protection that could transform your mental clarity and quality of life for decades to come. Now, let's begin with habit number 7. And I want you to pay close attention because this might be the most shocking revelation about a substance that millions of people consume every single night, believing it helps them sleep better. Habit number 7 is consuming alcohol before bed. I know this might surprise you because for generations, people have used alcohol as a sleep aid. That nightcap, that glass of wine to unwind, that beer to relax after a stressful day. It seems harmless, even beneficial, because alcohol does make you feel drowsy and can help you fall asleep faster. But here's what's happening in your brain that you can't feel or see. Alcohol fundamentally disrupts your sleep architecture, particularly the most crucial phase for brain health, rapid eye movement sleep, or REM sleep. During REM sleep, your brain consolidates memories, processes emotions, and performs critical maintenance functions. When alcohol interferes with this process, it's like interrupting a sophisticated computer system during its most important update cycle. The consequences aren't immediately visible, but they're cumulative and devastating. Research from the Stanford Sleep Medicine Center reveals that even moderate alcohol consumption before bed reduces REM sleep by up to 20%. This means that every night you have that seemingly innocent drink. You're depriving your brain of a quarter of its most restorative sleep phase. Over months and years, this deficit compounds, leading to memory problems, emotional instability, and cognitive decline, but the damage goes deeper. Alcohol also disrupts your brain's glymphatic system, a network of pathways that act like a nighttime cleaning crew, flushing out toxic proteins including amyloid beta, which is directly linked to Alzheimer's disease. When this cleaning process is impaired, these harmful proteins accumulate, creating the perfect conditions for neurodegenerative diseases to take hold. The solution is surprisingly simple but requires commitment. If you currently use alcohol to help you sleep, replace it with natural alternatives that actually support your brain's nighttime restoration. Try chamomile tea, which contains compounds that gently promote relaxation without disrupting sleep architecture. Practice deep breathing exercises or gentle stretching. These alternatives don't just help you fall asleep, they enhance the quality of your sleep and support your brain's natural healing processes. Moving to habit number 6, and this one affects virtually everyone in our modern world. Using screens in bed has become so normalized that most people don't even question it. You scroll through social media, check emails one last time, watch videos, or read on tablets and phones. It feels harmless, even productive, but the neurological consequences are profound and immediate. The blue light emitted by screens directly suppresses melatonin production, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. But here's what most people don't understand. Melatonin isn't just about feeling sleepy. It's a powerful antioxidant that protects your brain cells from oxidative damage and supports the formation of new neural pathways. When you suppress melatonin production, you're not just making it harder to fall asleep. You're removing a critical layer of Studies from Harvard Medical School demonstrate that just 2 hours of screen exposure before bed can suppress melatonin production by up to 23% and delay sleep onset by over an hour. This creates a cascade of neurological problems. Your brain enters sleep in an already compromised state, unable to perform its essential maintenance functions effectively. The mental stimulation from screen content creates another layer of damage. Your brain remains in an activated, alert state when it should be transitioning into rest mode, disrupting the natural progression through sleep stages that are essential for memory consolidation and cognitive restoration. The cognitive consequences manifest as difficulty concentrating the next day, increased irritability, and that persistent feeling of mental fog that many people attribute to aging but is actually the result of chronically disrupted sleep patterns. Over time, this pattern contributes to anxiety, depression, and accelerated cognitive decline. The alternative is to create a technology-free sanctuary in your bedroom. Establish a digital sunset at least 1 hour before bed. Charging your devices outside the bedroom and replacing screen time with activities that promote relaxation and mental preparation for sleep. Read a physical book, practice meditation, or engage in gentle journaling. These activities signal to your brain that it's time to transition into rest mode, supporting natural melatonin production and optimal sleep quality. Habit number 5 involves something that most people consider staying informed, but it's actually poisoning your mind right when it needs peace most. Consuming stressful news or engaging with disturbing content before bed creates a neurological storm that can take hours to calm down, even after you've fallen asleep. When you expose your brain to distressing information, it triggers the release of cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol is designed to keep you alert and ready for action, the exact opposite of what your brain needs for restorative sleep. Elevated cortisol levels don't just make it harder to fall asleep. They actively interfere with deep sleep stages. In REM sleep, the phases most critical for brain health and memory consolidation. But the damage extends beyond just that night. Chronic exposure to stressful content before bed creates a pattern of hypervigilance that your brain begins to associate with bedtime. Instead of your bedroom becoming a place of peace and restoration, it becomes a place where your mind races, with worries, fears, and disturbing images. This association can persist for months or even years, creating chronic insomnia and anxiety disorders. Neuroscience research shows that the brain doesn't distinguish between real threats and perceived threats from media consumption. When you watch disturbing news or engage with stressful content, your amygdala, the brain's alarm system, activates as if you were facing a real, immediate danger. This activation floods your system with stress hormones that can remain elevated for hours, completely disrupting your sleep architecture. The solution requires intentional media boundaries. Create a news curfew at least 2 hours before bed, replacing anxiety-inducing content with material that promotes calm and positive emotions. This might include inspirational reading, gentle music, or gratitude practices. Your brain needs time to process and metabolize stress hormones before attempting sleep, and these peaceful activities support that natural process. Now we're approaching the habits that cause the most severe and immediate damage to your cognitive function, and habit number 4 might be happening in your living room right now without you realizing the devastating impact it's having on your brain's ability to repair and regenerate itself. Habit number 4 is sleeping in a recliner or any position other than lying flat in a proper bed. This might seem like a minor comfort preference, but the neurological consequences are far more serious than most people realize. Many adults over 60 have developed the habit of falling asleep in their favorite chair while watching television, or they've started sleeping in recliners due to breathing issues, back pain, or simply because it feels more comfortable. What they don't understand is that this seemingly innocent choice is severely compromising their brain's most critical maintenance processes. When you sleep in an upright or semi-upright position, you're fundamentally disrupting your brain's glymphatic system, that sophisticated network I mentioned earlier that cleans toxins from your brain during sleep. This cleaning process relies on gravity and proper positioning to function optimally. When you're upright, cerebrospinal fluid cannot circulate efficiently through your brain tissue, meaning toxic proteins like amyloid beta and tau-T, which are directly linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease, begin to accumulate rather than being flushed out. Research from the University of Rochester Medical Center reveals that the glymphatic system is 60% more active during sleep than during waking hours, but only when the body is in a horizontal position. This positioning allows cerebrospinal fluid to flow freely through the brain's pathways, carrying away metabolic waste that accumulates during daily cognitive activities. When you sleep upright, this critical cleaning process is reduced by up to 40%, creating a nightly buildup of neurotoxic substances. But the damage doesn't stop there. Sleeping in a recliner also compromises your sleep quality in multiple ways. You're more likely to experience sleep fragmentation, where you wake up multiple times throughout the night without realizing it. This fragmentation prevents you from achieving the deep, restorative sleep stages that are essential for memory consolidation and cognitive repair. You might think you're getting 8 hours of sleep, but you're actually getting the equivalent of 4 or 5 hours of truly restorative rest. The solution requires prioritizing proper sleep positioning, even if it means addressing underlying issues that make bed sleeping uncomfortable. If you're sleeping upright due to breathing problems, work with your doctor to address sleep apnea or other respiratory issues. If back pain is the culprit, invest in proper mattress support and positioning pillows. The investment in proper sleep positioning will pay dividends in cognitive clarity and long-term brain health that far exceed the temporary comfort of sleeping upright. Moving to habit number 3, and this one is particularly insidious because it masquerades as healthy behavior. Taking long afternoon naps, especially those lasting more than 30 minutes or occurring late in the day, can completely disrupt your brain's natural circadian rhythm and rob you of the deep, restorative sleep your brain desperately needs at night. Your brain operates on a precisely timed internal clock called the circadian rhythm, which regulates everything from hormone production to body temperature to cognitive alertness. This rhythm is designed to build sleep pressure throughout the day, creating increasingly stronger signals for sleep as bedtime approaches. When you take long afternoon naps, you're releasing this accumulated sleep pressure, making it much harder to achieve deep sleep at night. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. It's not just about feeling tired. The timing and quality of your sleep directly affects your brain's ability to form and consolidate memories. During deep sleep, your brain transfers information from temporary storage areas to long-term memory networks. When afternoon napping disrupts your ability to achieve deep sleep at night, you're interfering with this critical memory consolidation process. Studies from the Sleep Research Society show that naps longer than 30 minutes or occurring after 3 p.m. can delay nighttime sleep onset by up to 2 hours and reduce deep sleep by as much as 30%. This creates a vicious cycle, where poor nighttime sleep leads to increased daytime fatigue, which leads to longer naps, which further disrupts nighttime sleep quality. The cognitive consequences are immediate and cumulative. You'll notice increased difficulty concentrating, problems with word recall, and that frustrating tip-of-its-tongue phenomenon where you know information but can't quite access it. Over time, this pattern contributes to more serious cognitive decline and increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. The solution isn't to eliminate napping entirely, but to optimize it for brain health. If you must nap, limit it to 20 minutes or less and complete it before 2 p.m. This timing allows you to gain some restorative benefits without significantly impacting your nighttime sleep pressure. Now we're entering the top 2 most destructive habits, and habit number 2 involves something that happens in millions of bedrooms every night, creating a perfect storm of stress hormones and cognitive disruption that can take years off your mental clarity and memory function. Habit number 2 is engaging in arguments, stressful conversations, or worry sessions before bed. This includes everything from heated discussions with family members to lying in bed rehearsing tomorrow's problems or replaying the day's frustrations. While it might seem natural to use bedtime as a time to process the day's events or address relationship issues, this timing creates a neurological disaster that can persist for hours after you've fallen asleep. When you engage in stressful mental activity before bed, your brain releases a cocktail of stress hormones, including cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine. These chemicals are designed to keep you alert, focused, and ready for action. They increase heart rate, elevate blood pressure, and maintain heightened brain activity. This is the exact opposite of what your nervous system needs to transition into restorative sleep. But the damage goes far beyond just difficulty falling asleep. Elevated stress hormones actively interfere with REM sleep, the phase when your brain processes emotions and consolidates memories. When this processing is disrupted, you're more likely to wake up feeling emotionally unsettled, mentally foggy, and unable to think clearly about the very problems that kept you awake. Chronic bedtime stress also creates a conditioned response, where your brain begins to associate your bedroom with anxiety and conflict rather than peace and restoration. This association can persist for months, creating ongoing sleep difficulties even when the original stressors have been resolved. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary for your mind, not a battleground for your worries. The neurological research is clear. It takes approximately 3 hours for stress hormone levels to return to baseline after a significant stressful event. This means that if you're arguing or worrying at 9 p.m., your brain chemistry won't be conducive to restorative sleep until midnight or later, regardless of when you actually fall asleep. The solution requires creating clear boundaries around bedtime mental activity. Establish a worry curfew at least 2 hours before sleep. Dealing with stressful conversations and problem solving earlier in the day when your brain is better equipped to handle them effectively. If worries arise at bedtime, write them down in a journal with a commitment to address them the next day. This simple act of externalization signals to your brain that the concerns are captured and don't need to be held in active memory throughout the night. And now we arrive at habit number 1, the most devastating and widespread brain-damaging bedtime habit that millions of people engage in every single night, believing it's harmless or even helpful. This habit alone is responsible for more cognitive decline, memory problems, and accelerated brain aging than almost any other lifestyle factor. Yet it's so normalized in our society that most people never question its impact. Habit number 1 is sleeping with the television on. Whether you fall asleep to your favorite show, leave the TV on for background noise, or use it as a nightlight, this seemingly innocent habit is creating a perfect storm of neurological damage that compounds every single night. The impact is immediate, measurable, and devastating to your brain's most critical repair processes. Television creates multiple layers of sleep disruption that work together to prevent your brain from achieving the deep, restorative sleep phases it needs to function optimally. First, there's the light exposure. Even with your eyes closed, the changing light patterns from TV screens penetrate your eyelids and signal to your brain that it's still daytime. This completely disrupts your natural circadian rhythm and suppresses melatonin production throughout the night. But the damage goes much deeper than light exposure. The audio from television creates what sleep researchers call cognitive load. Even when you're asleep, your brain continues to process and respond to dialogue, music, and sound effects throughout the night, preventing it from entering the deepest stages of sleep where the most critical restoration occurs. Your brain literally cannot turn off and focus on repair when it's constantly being stimulated by external input. Research from the National Sleep Foundation shows that people who sleep with television on experience 40% less deep sleep and 60% less REM sleep compared to those who sleep in complete darkness and silence. This isn't just about feeling tired the next day. This represents a massive reduction in your brain's ability to consolidate memories, process emotions, and clear toxic proteins that accumulate during waking hours. The glymphatic system, your brain's cleaning network, is particularly sensitive to sleep quality. When television disrupts your sleep architecture, this cleaning process becomes severely impaired, allowing neurotoxic substances to accumulate night after night. Over months and years, this accumulation contributes directly to cognitive decline, memory problems, and increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Perhaps most troubling is that the cognitive effects of sleeping with television on are often subtle and gradual, making them easy to dismiss as normal aging. You might notice increased difficulty concentrating, problems with word recall, or that persistent mental fog, but you're unlikely to connect these symptoms to your bedtime TV habit. The solution requires commitment but offers immediate benefits. Create a completely dark and quiet sleep environment using blackout curtains and removing all electronic devices from your bedroom. If you need sound for comfort, use a white noise machine or earplugs rather than television. If you're concerned about safety, install motion-activated nightlights in hallways rather than keeping screens on in your bedroom. The transformation in your sleep quality and cognitive function can be dramatic and rapid. Many people report noticeable improvements in mental clarity, memory, and energy levels within just a few nights of eliminating television from their sleep environment. As we conclude this critical information, I want you to understand that the power to protect and heal your brain lies entirely in your hands. These 7 habits might seem overwhelming to address all at once, but remember that your brain has a remarkable capacity for healing and regeneration when given the right conditions. Start with one habit, master it, then move to the next. Every positive change you make creates a compound effect that builds over time. Your mind is your most precious asset, the foundation of your independence, relationships, and quality of life. The choices you make tonight and every night going forward will determine whether you maintain sharp, clear thinking well into your later years or gradually lose the cognitive abilities that make life meaningful and fulfilling. But is that all? There is too. Protecting your brain health. What other hidden factors might be accelerating cognitive decline without your awareness? The truth is, bedtime habits are just the beginning of a comprehensive approach to cognitive protection that could transform your mental clarity for decades to come. If this information has opened your eyes to the hidden dangers in your nightly routine, please consider leaving a super thanks to support this channel. Your financial help allows me to continue bringing you these crucial health revelations that could literally save your mind and your future. Every contribution helps this channel reach more people who desperately need this life-changing information. Make the choice for your brain. Make it for your future. Your cognitive destiny is in your hands.